Hi. So here's this thing I want to talk about, and probably vaguely, but some days, some of you, some of us, I, some people might have thoughts or this, I don't know, like creation of a scene where you can perform a heroic act. Or let's just say you have this little fantasy of how a scene would play out, where you win, where you do something and you get acknowledged, you get appreciated, you get the affection, you get something in your life. And these scenes can be various. It's really like goes in lots of ways. And maybe you'll recognize yourself in this, but let's say a scenario, you're at work and you're doing something, your coworker has problems, so you come over, you help them out, and you get noticed by a boss. You're walking on a street and someone has a trouble, someone dropped something, you help them pick it up, you help them out. And we keep on creating various scenes, maybe with people that we know that we want to impress and have better connections with, maybe with people we work with so that they would recognize our strengths and, hey, look, I'm a good person. Hey, look, I actually can help, I can do things. And a lot of people have various fantasies, even if it's just a simple communication where someone around you, doesn't notice those traits in you that you want them to notice. They don't see the real you. And while you try to show it, some of it doesn't happen in real life. So, you or we end up creating a little scene where, look, I did it. I did this thing, a little heroic act, no matter how small it can be. Whereas picking up a trash or saving someone or doing a good deed. But a lot of people have this thing where maybe you have like someone you love or someone you like, and you want to have this little fantasy where you're going to do whatever while the person sees that impresses them, that makes them think and feel that, oh, wow, what a good person. And it's like a little creation of a fantasy. But the problem with that is that we create an issue before we do something good in that little fantasy. We create the problem. We create, oh, well, there's a car coming and I'm going to save a child, or, oh, there's something bad happening and I'm going to save the day. No matter how small those instances are, we have to create something negative to do something good. And well, who gives a care? Like, who gives a damn? Because it's all just imagination. It's all in your head. You just play out a little fantasy. It pleases you from time to time if you do it. And that's it. That's where it ends. But here's the thing. The more we focus on these little details, it's just a little innocent fantasy, little innocent scenery where you get to be, I don't know, like a knight in shining armor. You get to save the day. You get to be recognized for who you view yourself to be as. And a lot of times, like, it's not going to happen in real life. Other times it will happen, but before it will, the issues that you have been creating first before you save the day in that little fantasy will manifest. There's a lot of people who are like, hey, I'm just gonna, in my office, like my boss will notice me. In my work, like, or my family, they will recognize how good I am, how I can communicate with people, how I can listen, how I can be, doing good, like whatever thing you have going, where you would like recognition, where you like the acknowledgement, where like, hey, look, this is who I am, but people will notice it. So those little fantasies, like they're good to the point where they satisfy you. They're good to the point where you might be trying to manifest something and you're working it. Good for you. Good job. But we really have to pay attention to what we are creating and focusing on, because the times where we create a problem is what we're going to manifest first. The negative, there's more feeling to it. You're more connected, you're more attached. If you would have a chance to, let's say, hey, well, there's a girl or the guy I like, and I'm just going to imagine us sitting together and we're having a chat, and that was lovely, and we hugged, and maybe we kissed, and maybe we had a sing. Like, great. That's, if you have this is great. But a lot of people will be like, there's my lover, and I'm going to create the issue somewhere around the world, and I'm going to come over and save the day. Where it is a person walking and they drop their grocery bag and the groceries spill out and you just help them to pick it up and put it all together. And that, person that you love will notice the good thing you did and like, wow, what a kind person, what a caring, attentive, great being you are. Like those little things, but the issues is what's going to manifest first because there's more emotion in it. There's more energy in it. And I don't know, like it is really important to catch ourselves at times and try to spin the scenario. Like we want to be heroic, but it's also creating this connection and relationship around trauma, around the issues, around something negative. And when we build that, we constantly attract it. There's like, we're used to having relationships or something good or like something happening in our life, but it always goes around trauma, around being a victim, around issues, around various hard circumstances. And it's like too good to be true when you created the fun, easy way. It's just, why? Why would you just focus us sitting on the bench or, hey, just finished my university thing, or like I got a raise on my job? Like a lot of people might do that, and kudos to you, you're doing great. But for those that, like, hey, it's just an innocent little fantasy. It makes you feel good. You saved the day, you had a conversation, you helped someone. But you have to look at what is that thing where you save the day or you do a good deed in the fantasy. What kind of need does it satisfy? Is it being recognized and acknowledged for who you are? Is it like, hey, I am a good person. I like to help and I help a lot and I do a lot of things for others, but they don't notice it around me. They don't notice me doing that. And it's like, I would like to show it, but whenever I do, they don't see that. I'm caring. I'm loving. I am, I don't know, good listener. And you look at yourself and the things that you want to be recognized for or acknowledged for. And the fantasies you might have where, like, hey, my boss loved me. And then you might create a scene and they save the day or something. But the things we create where there's an issue, it is a problem. Like not a big one, but the more we focus on the problems and the day being saved, the more we're going to create the negative. And so, like, I don't know, it's just like, it takes a lot of practice for some people to turn it into just all positive. Just what if we create the same scene? There's a person you like and something bad happens in the world. Like groceries spill and like you have to help someone to pick it up. And the person you love notices about that, like that thing about you and thinks like, hey, wow, you're a good person, and all this stuff. What if you did the same, but without any issues? You just had a chat and you listen to them. And you create this fantasy where nothing bad happens, no issues, nothing negative. It's not as fun for some people, but at the same time, you're not creating the bad. And, like, I'm not saying stop doing that stuff, but I'm noticing how a lot of people would share, like, I just wish, and that they're going to put their thing, they're going to save the day or do something good and they're going to feel good about it. But eventually it's like, what kind of need is being satisfied? That love that you get where you have more control in your life, finally being recognized, acknowledged, getting the affection, getting the love. What is it? What is it? Because if we know what we need, then we can focus, how can I, let's say, manifest the same need, but with a fantasy, or let's say create a scenery in your head, imagine that stuff, but in a positive way. How can you get love? People just love you. People come and give you compliments. They hug you, they care for you, but nothing bad needs to happen. So we have to like let go or like work on, hey, some of us are used to being abused. Some of us are used to a lot of issues in life and bad things happening. And how can we work on like just focusing on the good instead of creating things around the bad stuff to change the day, to make things better? It's important because like for some, it might be just a little fantasy that makes you feel good. You're just like innocent. It's okay. It's fun. But when we are creating it around the negative stuff, a little bit by little bit, what you focus on is what you create. And those little instances where things happen around you or around some people that you're trying to impress or make them feel good or save the day or something, you're creating that. And it might not show up today or in a week or in a month, but one day out of the blue, you get that stuff. Getting hit by a car. Someone drops stuff and it actually crushes your toe and it actually hurt. Damn. Someone got their whole like PC crashing, the files being deleted, like dropping their phone into the lake or something, and you were gonna go into the building and save someone from fire, but actually you lost someone, or you tried to save the day and you failed. So it's important to watch on what we think about and what we focus on and how we do it. I mean, fantasize all you want, create those scenes. It's okay, do it, work on it. If you're trying to manifest stuff, good on you. It's okay even if you think about the bad stuff. I mean, it's not easy to let go of, and it's not like you will focus on something negative and you're going to create it like that. No, but we have to catch ourselves when I'm talking specifically, let's say you have a relationship with a person that you like. It doesn't have to be love relationship. It can be boss, it can be, like teacher, student, or whatever. But you have people in your life that you like want to impress or have better connection with. And a lot of times, those little thoughts where we think of a scene where we're gonna show them how like who we truly are. It doesn't matter how big the scene is or like how innocent it is. If we're creating it around the problems, why are we doing this? Why are we focusing on the bad all the time? Not just to save the day and become heroic, but hey, it's there. Like, what's the fucking problem? As in, why? Why would you choose to create issues instead of something good? Well, we're used to it. We're used to suffering. And at the same time, when the bad stuff happens, we kind of want to show up how good we are, who we truly are. Like, it's more recognizable instead of on a good day, you're helping out someone to just put things together, or, like, hey, you're looking good. Like, no one's going to give a damn ish. We think that. But I don't know, like, it's important. I just like, from time to time, talk to people and they tell me, they share their thoughts. I look at myself, do I do that? Do I, like, I know as a kid, I used to do that. Oh, I wished like I would be like, let's say, recognized in the classroom. I wished like people would know me for who I was. But at the same time, it's so easy to just, hey, it's just a little fantasy. I had a 5-second thought, made me feel good, and that's done. And I'm moving on with my day and never think about it again. But for some people, those thoughts are coming back. Let's say someone you love and you just want to be with them and you think about all the possibilities. And for some, I'm not talking everyone. Some of you might be doing real good where, hey, we're just holding hands, we're kissing, we're just spending time together, what if they're with me? And you can have a lot of good scenarios when you're together and go with that. For others, it's going to be something around trouble, something around problems. Like, oh, look, trash on the ground, I'm going to pick it up. Oh, look, well, I can save someone. I can talk to a kid and help them out with a problem. Kid asks for help, I'm there. And you do it. But those little instances where we have to save things, we have to change it for the better. I said, doing good things is great, but when we're focusing on the issue to create the good, we're creating the bad stuff first. So I don't know. It's just a thought out there. Hey, if you have those thoughts, if from time to time you have this fantasy, are you focusing on a negative first and then the good, or on the good? If you're doing on the good, awesome. If you're focusing on the negative and then the good, then you'd have to look at what is it, what kind of traits are you not getting satisfied in your personal life, and how can you spin the same fantasy or scenery in a positive way? How can it be better without any issues or trouble or problem that would give you the same satisfaction? Because you just want to avoid eventually anything negative in your current life. Whatever you imagine and fantasize about and think about will have a bit more of attraction. And the negative things, just the way this world works, still trying to understand stuff. But energetically, our focus, our emotions, and everything else. It's so connected. And those issues we attract, maybe not right away, but it does show up. Maybe not to you, but the people around you. And somehow it becomes like a magnet. So if we can change and create the better, we're going to get that. But if we're focusing on a problem first and then creating the better out of that, well, you're creating the problem first. So I don't know, just a thought. Anyway, I'm going to zip it and say thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.